Hey everyone, welcome to Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard, an audio podcast. Got a great guest on today. She's a muralist and graphic designer based in Toronto with a passion for lettering and color. Her creative vision is deeply rooted in a love for Colombia and the rich tapestry of Latin American culture. Please join me in welcoming Andrea Rodriguez. Welcome.
Hey, Thomas, thank you.
Are you ready for 20 questions?
Yeah, I'm good.
Great. Question one. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do?
Okay, I'm a muralist and a graphic designer. I do both things equally throughout the year, and I use a lot of lettering, integrating it with illustration, lots of color, and trying to bring a little bit of my roots from Colombia into the environment where I live right now, which is Canada. I live in Toronto, and yeah, that's basically what I do.
Great. And just a note for the audience, if you guys are interested in the big 2025 episodes, please check out the episode with Kareem Rashid. Question two, what's a key piece of knowledge that makes you different?
I think that the key piece of knowledge that makes me different is that I know how to use color pretty well, and I use that to my advantage.
Nice. Question three, why this of all things? Why do you do what you do?
Um, I think that I found my love for mural art back in 2019, but it is something I grew up surrounded by and never realized that I could actually do it. And it helped me connect with who I was before I moved to Canada. And it's sort of a full circle for me because graphic design is what I started in Canada and do here in Toronto. And muralism is just a way to connect to my other me. So, yeah.
Great. Some people struggle with number four, and the question is, what does your future look like?
Um, I think that is a very vast question, but I think my future looks like exactly like it is right now. Just I'm gonna be evolving my practice. I'm gonna keep evolving who I am as a person, and I just want to do bigger murals around the world. So yeah.
Great. Five we say is unique to this show. The question is, let's talk about location. How does the notion of place play into what you do?
I think that this notion of location, I guess, plays a lot in how I decide to do the murals I do. Like I mentioned before, I bring a little bit of Colombia into my environment here in Toronto, trying to integrate it with who I am here in my home, which is Toronto. And I make an effort to bring that piece of warmth from Colombia. And I think it does work um, in the notion of place because I don't think I would have done this if I had stayed in France. I lived in France for a while and this didn't happen. Mural art happened here in Toronto, and I think it needed all these right things at the right place at the right time to kind of work.
Nice. So you're starting from the beginning. What advice do you give your former younger self?
Um, I think give up on perfectionism would be one of the things that was the hardest for me was to stop thinking too much about being perfect and start doing. So just, you know, learn by doing stuff and not by just sitting and looking around.
Great. And what's a day in your life like?
Sometimes if I'm printing a mural, like yesterday, for instance, I wake up, I look at my emails, I go and fill up on fuel and my lunch and make sure that I have all the paint, and then I go paint for 5, 6 hours, stop for little breaks here and there, then come home, make dinner, make sure that I see my emails again. If I have any projects for a client, I also send them. I send them in advance. I schedule my emails. So if I'm painting, I have to make sure that I don't miss any emails in the process, and that is what a day in the life looks like.
Great. Eight is about lifelong learning. It's a popular topic. How do you stay up to date?
I think that going out and networking and trying to make sure you share your knowledge and learning from people. I do a lot of mentorship, so I always tell my mentees that mentorship is about learning both ways. I learn a lot about younger people because they have a different way of looking at things, and that's how I keep up to date. I also love reading and making sure that I'm not just falling on the knowledge that I already acquired, but trying to improve every day.
Great. 9 is about tools. Do you use both digital and analog tools?
I do, yes. So I do use my Wacom tablet. Like I mentioned, I'm a graphic designer, so I do that a lot. But for mural art, I sketch, and even for graphic design, I sketch by hand. I do letters by hand, and then I modify the old way, the old-fashioned way, with lots of tracing paper, and then I digitize in, whatever tool I have available, which is usually Illustrator. So yeah.
Great. Halfway, number 10. How do you deal with work-life balance?
That is a good question. I think that for a long time I did not do well with that. I was working too much, which led to a few injuries. And now I'm making a point to actually take my weekends off and, schedule things at a normal time and not trying to work 12, 13 hours, which I used to do a day, because that will lead to burnout. And if you're a muralist like me, burnout will look like an injury. So yeah.
Great. And if you weren't doing what you do now, what might you be doing?
If I wasn't a muralist, if I were in a muralist, I think I would work with animals or plants. I'm obsessed by nature, so I think that's something in that department.
What would you not like to do with your career?
What would I not like to do as a career or with my career?
With your career.
I think serve um people that don't align with my values is something I don't like to do. Like I like to be consistent with what I think and what I do, and I make sure to, for instance, I am a muralist that brings a lot of the tropical rainforest and, Colombia, Amazon rainforest into the forefront. It will be very inconsistent of me, my brand, and my thinking to work with someone in, I don't know, mining. You know what I mean? Like I try to make sure that the people I work with and the people that my murals and my designs serve are aligned with what I think.
Great. And do you have a favorite word, quote, or sentence?
Yes. Um, it's in Spanish though, but I'm gonna try to translate it. It's something like doing what you mean and meaning what you do. Um, I think that you have to be, again, align your values and the things you do have to be aligned. Otherwise, your career won't flourish and you as a human being won't flourish.
And how about a least favorite word, quote, or sentence?
Uh, Hustle. I
Hmm.
hate that word. I think it's excessive. I think that we need to learn to play more and to be a little more open to mistakes. And I don't like to call them failures, but learning opportunities.
Great. And you're choosing one word to describe yourself. What word do you choose?
Dedicated.
What keeps you up at night?
Um, War. I think that lately that's keeping me up at night. Sometimes I worried about humanity. I worry about humanity, and it's weird.
Great. Final stretch here. What's a dream you're chasing?
Um, a dream I'm chasing, I think, would be to finally get the environment in the right track and get people on board with climate change and helping our planet.
What inspires you?
Nature.
Last couple here. Any advice you'd like to share?
Yes, I think that nowadays, not nowadays, but in general, people have a tendency to be very worried about what others have or don't have. And I think that sometimes we have to focus a little bit on how we are writing our own stories and how we have to make sure we write a good one.
Great. And number 20, how can our listeners keep tabs on you and what's our call to action?
You can follow me on Instagram at Andrea Cataro or follow me on my website, andreacataro.com. I also have a newsletter that goes monthly where I share not only things that are happening in my mural art, but also things that are happening in Toronto and art events that I think are cool. So yeah, please follow me. I love to connect with people, and I love to show you what I'm doing and share you and share with you and help you with your muralist career is if that's something you're pursuing.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining today. It's great to connect east and west of Canada.
Of course.
Pleasure having you on.
Thank you, Thomas. That was lovely.